All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. All right, this I'm gonna go into this topic, and basically the title is gonna be "The Ancient Egyptians Also Feared the Great Replacement," and you got this I guess is this so-called conspiracy theory or whatever. I don't really like that term, but you got it around these Edomite supremacists, man, and it's called. I think I've done a video on it, but like it's time to do another one. So basically, yeah, it's like this so-called conspiracy theory that was first pushed by French author Renaud Camus. Basically, like they believe that people was it's in 2011. They believe that, and this was about Ishmael, but Ishmael was closely related to Jake, and they believe that just the other nations, especially Jake, they focus on Jake, is trying to replace them and shit, and they're working with the elites of their own people, Esau, Edom, which they don't recognize as their own people, because a lot of them happen to be small hats, but small hats just Edomites of a different tribe, belonging to a different religion. You see in the so-called state of Israel what they're doing, man. It's the same shit that they've done around the world, man. But anyways, let's go into it. But basically, like these Edomites think that they're being like replaced, and that the elites of Esau Edom is doing it, and that's because Jake is like multiplying, and also these elites, the elites of Esau Edom, they do like having cheap labor, and these corporations do like having cheap labor. They about Orod, Kale as well, about all that shit, but they believe that they gonna get replaced completely. It's gonna be a Jake over, and a heathen takeover, and ain't gonna be no Edomites no more, Even though the ruling elites are Edomites, But yeah, this is basically it's been Esau's fear, because that's why they were afraid to give to basically emancipate, Jake, that was Judah, man, the house of Judah mainly, that was in them slave plantations and shit, That's why they was afraid to do that, It's cause they was afraid of that, of Jake taking over, man, paying them back, Shit. Thomas Jefferson, man. I don't really even gotta go into this article too much, man. Thomas Jefferson knew that there would payback would come, and so this has always been in the back of Esau's mind, man. Khan, let me get this, and it was specifically uh about how they was doing Jake, man. This is the quote right here: colony, slavery, and abolition. This is so true that the very proprietors of slaves, a very small proportion, indeed are receiving. Okay, man. Like he's trying to like this nigga trying to like justify his shit, but at the same time, read on down, man. Read on down, though. And can the liberties of a nation be thought secure when we have removed the only firm basis of conviction in the minds of the people that these liberties are of the gifts of God, that they are not to be violated but with his wrath? Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, that his justice cannot sleep forever. Hey, bro. Yeah, basically, the Lord's gonna judge them, and they know, and so they know how the Lord's gonna judge them, man. It's in the scriptures, and they've read them. You know, they know how the Lord's gonna judge them. You know, let's get it though. Obadiah. Hold on, I believe it's in Obadiah. I'm pretty sure. Obadiah 1 and 18. In the house of Jacob shall be a fire. This will ultimately happen. And the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall be not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has spoken it. You know? So, you know, so-called white, you know, I'm speaking of the Edomites. You know, not speaking of course of I'm speaking of the fucking Edomites. When I speak of the so-called white man, I'm speaking of Esau. And the small hats, you know, they're both destined to be destroyed. You know, completely. So Edomite uh, replacement and Gen O side is in the scriptures. Clear. It's in there. But it's not going to happen the way these devils think it's going to happen. But let's go into how the ancient Egyptians, which this devil bases is many aspects of this queendom on, feared also being replaced, you know, by the actual Israelites. Let me get it. Exodus chapter 1. You know. Oh God, let me get this. Exodus 1 and 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all his generation. You know, remember what Joseph did. You know, remember what he did for ancient Egypt. Saved their asses, basically, by introducing this system. You know, that same system that this new king of Pharaoh would use against Jake, though. When you read on down. Verse 7, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Does that sound familiar to what these Edomites be saying, you know? Look, they're all over the place. They multiply like rabbits, you know? Or like roaches. They like to talk shit about our people like that. They you know, they're all over the place, you know. Their populations are getting bigger. Ours can't compete, you know. Ours can't compete. The politicians need to stop letting them come in here as immigrants as well, you know. Because our population can't compete. And this is the smallest of the heathen, you know. They are small among the heathen. And it is two meanings to it, but yeah. They're small among the heathen already, you know. And Jake is as the sand of the sea. Jake was becoming as the sand of the sea right there, verse 7. Verse 8, now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Verse 9, And you have to think about it. Has to have been many generations between Joseph and this new king, you know. But yeah, verse 9, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Hey. Verse 10, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they so crafty counsel, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies. Hey, bro, this sound like the shit they saying. And fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Bro, this was the ancient Egyptians coming down with great wrath. Verse 11, which is why Esau is compared to Pharaoh. Verse 11, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. Yeah, hey, you Edomites, y'all wasn't the ancient Egyptians, y'all the Edomites, but y'all act like they did towards our people. So y'all are compared to Pharaoh by the Apostle Paul. But anyways, but yeah, you so-called white people, y'all act like Egyptians, y'all not the Egyptians. Y'all act like Egyptians towards our people. But anyways, verse 11, therefore they did set over them taskmasters. But hold on. It's funny how they claim that, you know, be ancient Egyptians, and they actually act, they're not, but they act like how the ancient Egyptians did towards our people. But anyways, verse 11, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. Verse 12, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. You know, because, you know, it's a saying, it's popular among Issachar for a reason. You know, Mexicans don't die, they multiply. You know, well, Mexicans is just one tribe of Israel, Issachar. You know, this applies to all the tribes of Israel, man. Verse 13, and the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. You know, so they was pissed, man. You know, why this didn't work, you know? Come down with even greater wrath. Verse 14, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. You know? So they was putting straight hell on Jake, man. Verse 15, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, you know, of which the name of one was Shiphrah and the other name of the other Puah. Verse 16, and he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. And you have to ask yourself why. Well, the reason why is because the son carries the seed. That's why. And they wanted to stop the seed from being spread. You know? This is also an early form of abortion when you look at it. Also that, you know? And when you look at, you know, abortion being pushed, Planned Parenthood in the hoods and barrios, you know, mainly there. And you look at how it's pushed among our women. You know, Esau is doing the same shit using sellouts. You know, he's just being more sneaky about it. And then also the anti-male propaganda, particularly against Jake, you know, which would make them more likely to, you know, this is what Esau hopes, you know, and make it more likely for Eve to kill the aborted son and a daughter. because they're trying to do the same thing that the king of Egypt was trying to do. But back then, Eve actually had some sense, you know. Well, some of them, at least these Eves, you know. Verse 17, but the midwives feared Yahweh, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive, you know. Hey, that was some Rebecca shit, man. Because Rebecca, you had Adam and Eve, and then you had Isaac and Rebecca. You know, Rebecca was instrumental. You know, you already know what happened, man. She helped Jake get that birthright. You know, well, not that birthright. That Jake already got it. You know, because Esau sold out for some lentils and raw meat. Wasn't even cooked all the way. But so Jake got the birthright, meaning the blessing would also apply to him. But he had to go get that in person, and Rebecca helped him, you know. So that was some Rebecca shit, man, that those Hebrew midwives did. Verse 18, and the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? Look what, hey, they used wisdom, man. Couldn't just tell them because we fucking wanted to. So she used wisdom, but partially she was not lying, though. Verse 19, and the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. And it's true, but at the same time, that wasn't their reason for like them saving them babies, you know. But you know, Eve, you know, well, they was more like Rebecca in this case, had to use wisdom, you know, had to be slick, you know. Wise as serpents, man. Verse 20. Hey, wise as serpents, harmless as doves in that scenario, man. That's an actual example of being that way, you know. Verse 20. Therefore Yahweh dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. You know. So these devils, they were like, I'm gonna read on, but they were like, fuck it, we're gonna do it ourselves. Verse 21. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Yahweh, that he made them houses. Verse 22. So he blessed them. Verse 22. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. You know? And so that is basically in the larger, in basically Esau was, well, it's not Esau, but Esau acts like Pharaoh. But basically, Pharaoh was like, I'm gonna do it myself, man. All these, all these, all these, all these, fucking, slick, well, so-called slick ways of trying to get rid of our people, you know. All these backhanded ways of trying to get rid of our people. Just fucking just conniving ass ways of trying to get rid of our people. Didn't work. It didn't work. So, Pharaoh, basically this is him coming down with the ultimate wrath that Esau is going to come down with, man. Esau sees that his ways of keeping our population down and shit like that, and also not a way to their heritage, is not working. well, at least the ones that count the elect, right, is not working. So what Esau Edom is gonna do, and he's been setting the stage for it. 'Cause Esau Edom a deceiver, man. He Jacob may be Jacob is a planner, but Esau's a deceiver. And there is a difference. But yeah, man. Let's fast forward to what happened when Moses, because we know what happened. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai stepped in, had Moses deliver Jake out of captivity, you know. But let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. I'm not sure if it's in Exodus though, but let me see. Hold see. It's in Numbers 20 and 14. And Moses sit, because you got to look at this. This is Esau's mindset towards our people. Ever since what happened between Esau and Jacob, and that blessing and birthright, Esau's had this mindset. And he passed it down to his descendants. Numbers 20 and 14. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh because that was honestly the biggest L that Esau ever took, man. But let me continue. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us. Verse 15, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. Verse 16, and when we cried, and vexed just mean like to fuck with someone, put hell on them. That's what it means. Verse 16, and when we cried unto Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, he heard our voice. Well, it basically does. But anyways, verse 16, and when we cried unto Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, he heard our voice, and sent an angel, and hath brought us forth out of Egypt, and behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. So they was at the border of the kingdom of Edom, man. They was at the border of the kingdom of Edom. Verse 17, let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed our borders, man. Verse 18 now, check out what Edom said unto him, man. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. Verse 19, and the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by the highway, and if I and my cattle drink of this water, we will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. Verse 20, and he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Hey, so he sent the military down there, man. This king of Edom. Verse 21, thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. So, hey, hey, you could imagine this scenario of what was going through these Edomites' head, There's a large Israelite migrant caravan that has come from Egypt after being in captivity in Egypt, and they are heading this way. They are heading this way. We need to stop these migrants from getting to this land, We need to stop them, So when we get there, when they get here, we're going to tell them nah. We're not gonna let them, And hey, to be honest, that shit sound like some Trump shit, It sound like the shit that Trump wanna do, sort of, Except Jake is our they want to like, you know, get what I'm saying though. But to prevent, they want to basically stem the flow of migrants that's coming in. You know. But this is sounds like some shit that Trump would do in the ancient world, man, as king of Edom. So I wouldn't be surprised if this particular king of Edom was Trump in one of his past lives, man. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, man, nothing new under the sun, right? And that's Edom, like the Edom. That's Amalek is also a tribe of Edom, but Amalek is like at the same time like they own, you know. That's why they're mentioned different, you know. They're mentioned separate from Edom, you know. But Duke Amalek was the Duke of Edom, man. But Exodus 17 and 8, so Amalekites are Edomites. But anyways, Exodus 17 and 8, then you have this mindset, you know, towards Jake, you know, from Amalek, the ruling house. Verse 8, then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Verse 9, this was like way earlier. Verse 9, and Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand at the top of the hill with the rod of Yahweh in my hand. Verse 10, so Joshua did as Moses had said unto him and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. Verse 11, and it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. Verse 12, when Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady instead of going down to the sun. Verse 13, and really that represents like the faith of our people, man. That's what that represents. The faith. You know, that faith and endurance, you know. Endurance to the end, you know. Verse 13, and Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. He defeated them. Verse 14, and Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Verse 15, and Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh. Was Yahweh, and the other one, I don't remember the paleo for that, so I'm just going to say Nissi. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Verse 16, for he said, because Yahweh has sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And ultimately, that's the elites. And as you can see, Amalek is 100% behind. They're behind both candidates, but you know, Amalek lately has really been showing a lot of love to Trump, man. A lot of love. They've been showing mad love to Trump, making it rain. You know, that's what they've been doing. And you really have to wonder the actual reason why. Let me get it. But it's not just about that. They know who the fuck our people are, man. Let me look up this Edomite test, or this Amalekite test. Who they have the audacity her parents had the audacity to name her Miriam. But let me get it. When, dude, that couldn't be further from the truth. But, they are imposters, man. What? What about posts? I mean, it's probably because it's a retweet and not a actual post. But let me get that because she was making it rain, on Trump. Alright, trying to look for it, man. Matter of fact, let me do this. Miriam Adelson. Let's see. Yo, Miriam Adelson, the wife of Sheldon Adelson, just donated $100 million to Trump in exchange for more favorable policies towards the so-called State of Israel. He also attended a Stop Anti-Sem event with Miriam Adelson today. And then DJT actually tweeted, Sheldon Adelson is looking to give big dollars to Rubio because he feels like he can mold him into his perfect little puppet. I agree. But look at DJT doing the same shit. But let's get this tweet right here, man. I'm gonna put it in my favorites too. Let's Dead president. Hear what she's about to say. Dead president is Donald Trump. He promised to recognize Jerusalem and to move the embassy to Jerusalem. Promise kept. He promised to withdraw from Iran nuclear deal, and promise kept. He promised to bring peace between Israel and Arab nations. Promise kept. And all in Golan Heights, that was a big gift. He promised Golan Heights, and he recognized. And all in Golan Heights, that was a big gift. He promised. Now guess, I'm just gonna look this up just so it to y'all. And guess what's in Golan Heights, which is officially a part of Syria. But the U.S. and the so-called State of Israel recognize it as part of the so-called State of Israel. So let's see why they do that, why she was so happy about that. Oh, what is that? Let's just get that. It's called Genie something. But let me get it on Brave search. Because that's like, when you look in here, it's like even better than they marketed DuckDuckGo as that type of site or app that you could just, you're more anonymous, but when you look into it, that was cap. Brave, I'm trying that out because I've heard some things about them. But anyways, and gas shareholders. Biggest shareholders. Let's be specific. This is the reason why she was so fucking happy about that. What Trump did, recognizing and just backing up the so-called state of Israel's claim to the Golden Heights. Genie Oil Gas shareholders, based on the provided, I just wanted to bring this out, but based on the provided search results, here's the information. Here's the information on Genie Oil and Gas's biggest shareholders. So free float, 51.16%. Vanguard Group, I heard all about them. They're one of them. They're a main player in this world, man. Incorporated 4.66. Dimensional Fund Advisors LP 4.55%. BlackRock. That BlackRock. Fund Advisors 2.94%. Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF 2.88%. Renaissance Technologies LLC 2.37%. BlackRock Institutional Trust Co. NA 2.34%. 2012 Jonas Family LLC 2.20%. Michael Menachem Stein, I already know, 1.86%. Geode Capital Management LLC 1.74%. iShares Russell 2000 ETF 1.73%. State Street Corporation, which I heard stuff about them. Just look into it, man. 1.71%. Invesco Dorsey Wright Small Cap Momentum ETF 1.51%. The Howard S. and Deborah Jonas Foundation Inc. 1.45%. Vanguard, seen a lot of Vanguard here. Vanguard Extended Market Index Fund 1.34%. Note that Jacob Rothschild, the Jacob Rothschild, aka Esau Rothschild, Michael Steinhardt, and Rupert Murdoch are minority shareholders, with 89% of Genie Oil and Gas owned by Genie Energy. However, the exact percentage of ownership for these individuals is not specified in the provided search results. Interesting. It's also worth noting, so maybe these are not accurate, and also Rothschild is up there as well. But let me continue. However, the exact percentage of ownership for these individuals is not specified. Okay, yeah, I already read that. It's also worth noting that Genie Oil and Gas has a subsidiary, AFEC Oil and Gas, which holds an exclusive 36-month petroleum exploration license in the Israeli-occupied Golden Heights. The license was awarded in 2013, and the company has since suspended that's what they say, right? Is exploratory drilling program due to the lack of commercially producible quantities of oil and gas. Human rights groups have criticized the drilling as violating international law, as the Golden Heights is an occupied territory. But at the same time, they know what the fuck is there, bro. And there's a reason why she was so damn happy about that, Yeah, and there's actually this Haaretz article of a report of possible big golden oil find. Hey, this is Amalek, bro. This is an Amalekite small hat publication. Straight from the land. But this was back in 2015. They found a big golden oil find. They found a big golden oil find, so they know it's they know what's down there, man. And what this also proves they're Esau because look, they took that by the sword. You know, the fatness of the earth, bro. Fatness of the earth. It's all there. Slack you. Let's go right to the point, man. That I'm trying to bring out. Genesis 27 and 38. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40. And by thy sword, by thy sword, Salakil, by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So, you know, Esau lives by that sword, right? And that's how he took that area which has the fatness of the earth. That's resources, man. Resources, valuable ones at that, you know. Like gold. That would be an example of that. But other resources as well. Gold, you know, silver, and all other resources that basically Esau would take that land using the sword and would get those resources, man. Hey, lithium. What did this devil do to his own people and even Jake that's in that area as well, and clearing them out? He said he used that harp, man. That's the form of the sword. You know, sent that you know, them chemtrails as well. You know, had that Hurricane Helene, you know, go up in there. You know, just fuck shit up. You know, run them out, man. Because Esau saw that lithium was there and shit. And the people didn't want to give it up willingly. So they voted against it. They didn't want to give it up, that land up for that. So Esau took it by the sword. That's what he did. Like this devil always does. And that's how you could tell who he is, man. By their fruits you shall know them. That's how you could tell who he is. But anyways, hey, but you see this devil's mindset towards our people, right? And then you look into Trump's Operation Aurora. I'll get to that after.
And you recognize. And all of this.
He the one that recognized it.
He did in his first term while battling COVID pandemic, race riots, and the liberal media. Now I want to tell you, politicians make promises. Real leaders keep promises.
So basically, that's hey, Trump being a good little puppet, you know, let's put him back in.
In the biblical story, Susanna...
All right. But basically, I've been coming across a whole gold mine of information, man, on these devils, man, and their plans. And I speak as a man, but me and there's also other brothers who believe that Trump was chosen again to be president. And unless some major event happens before the election, which is the so-called election, which is still possible, if that's the plans of the elites. But there are many signs pointing to Trump, who the apostles have brought out is Nero, and they've actually broken down why. Being placed back in power, man. And read on down because I've been coming across some good shit, man. But basically, yeah, it's a whole lot coming out, man. But basically, Let's read on down. Let's read on down. Oh, I'm getting close to it. But you got the DOD directive, man. This DOD directive that brothers have been doing videos on. This might be about that. Oh, nah, this ain't it. But you got this DOD directive. That was just passed. I'm gonna see if I don't find it on here or find it on. I'll find it on YT, you know. Let me see. I already checked this. So kinda, yeah. But hold on. Hold on. I think I'ma just look it up on YT, bro. Because this goes into what, ultimately it goes into what they're trying to do, whether, and I believe that Trump is going to be used for this purpose as well. But, hold on. I'm looking for it, Akim. Which means brothers, just in case, you don't know that yet and you're completely new to this truth. But hold on. I'm finding it. This kind of goes into it.
Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all
This,
praise,
elder
honor,
brother.
and glory to Yahweh.
Well, he
Bahashem,
could be. I don't know. I was
Yahushai,
thinking about. I was thinking about the brother from the UK that has a similar channel name, but this is a different brother. But still, he be going in.
Hashem, Rakak, Wadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles, bishops.
You know, y'all sub to his channel. You know, get edified. But let me continue.
The elders of Great Millstone. And peace and mercy to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. I'm the brother you wanted on. Back with another quick lesson, Lord willing, is edifying. And once again, what the elder apostles of Great Millstone prophesied, years ago, decades ago, we seeing it coming to pass right before our eyes. Well, that's if you got eyes to see. Like the Lord would always say, he that got ears to hear, let him hear. And those that have eyes to see, let them see the will of the Lord, the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is all scripted in the Bible, the Holy Bible. It's all coming to pass here in these last days. And, this is big news, man. This is breaking news. This is big news. And this just shows you that there will be a great slaughtering of people here in America, really all over the world. The Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, he's going to bring death and destruction to the whole world. All right, but specifically here in America, Babylon the Great, code name, Babylon, code name Sodom and Gomorrah, code name Egypt. It's going to be a great slaughtering in this place, man, for all the wickedness and the foul shit that's going on here. You see? And mainly because they touch the Lord's people, the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, mainly because you were brought here in cargo slave ships. You were enslaved on the land. You know, I'm talking about the tribe of Gad, which is the so-called Native Americans. I'm talking about the tribe of Judah, who was brought over here to the Americas to serve slavery with the Northern Kingdom, you know, with the so-called Hispanic and Native American tribes. They, the so-called white man got to pay for that, but he's still gonna go out, you know, ruthlessly,
His last
so to
life
speak.
before he goes
And we're
down.
gonna get the scriptures on it in a sec. I just want to show you the information dealing with this, basically this new authority that was given to the American military. I'm gonna play this clip for about 3 minutes, but I have it on 1.25 speed, and then I'm gonna get the actual document right here in a second.
So I became aware of something that's a little disturbing about the DOD. There was something that had something to do regarding a directive. I think it was a directive called 5240. And this directive was passed in 2016. It was created, and they updated it conveniently September the 24th for the election. And the part that they put in there, it gives the U.S. military, not the National Guard, none of that kind of stuff, the actual military, it gives them authority to assist police in the United States in case the police are confronted with some kind of armed conflict or something like that with U.S. civilians, the population. And it gives the U.S. military, it authorizes them to use deadly force if need be on American people. I know a lot of people gonna talk about posse comitatus and all that other stuff. Listen, this is 2024, y'all. Barack Obama is one of the presidents that helped dismantle a lot of stuff like that. So listen, this is a different time that we live in here.
Yeah, because when Barack Obama was in, he passed the NDAA, and you know we did videos on that plenty of times. Brothers should already know about that one, the National Defense Authorization Act, and pretty much like he said that. I forget how to say it. He just said it though, that little thing where basically, you know, every citizen is innocent until proven guilty, and you know you have a fair shot at a trial. Where they did away with all of that. They have the Patriot Act back when 9/11 happened, when Bush Jr. was in there, and then right after that, when Obama got in there, they passed the National Defense Authorization Act, which pretty much it basically allows them to label any American citizen a domestic terrorist if they feel the need to. They basically could become the judge, jury, and executioner all in one. So you don't need a trial. They don't need to prove that you. If they just feel like you a terrorist, they can execute the punishment according to the law. You know, based on that, just them thinking it or feeling it. Pretty much, that's what that means. So I'm gonna let it continue. It's about another minute and a half, a minute, or like 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
I'm not really fond of that, bro. That's not a good sign, bro. That's absolutely not a good sign for this country, man. When you give and here's the scariest thing about this. The executive branch can't do stuff like that, bro. They have to get congressional approval, right? But they just wrote it in themselves, dude. I don't remember that ever. Think about it. You know, this was September 25th was like what, 2 weeks ago? That's not fast enough to pass congressional approval. They threw that in there themselves, bro. The DOD, the Pentagon. Yeah. So I never thought that I would see things like this unfolding out here, but it's almost like a puzzle. The timing of everything is just crazy. You got an election. What's this? Today, as I make this video, is October the 15th. The election is exactly 25 days, 26 days away. I feel like under 30 days, man. So we are 3 weeks away from, in my opinion, one of the most important and most dangerous elections probably in U.S. history. And these dudes write in the authority for the military to kill, pretty much go toe-to-toe with Americans, bro.
Nope.
I'm not exaggerating this. You can look this up. It's called Directive 5240. And they put a .01 at the end so that they updated it, revised it. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I have here from ResearchGate.net, and pretty much, man, yeah, they get ready for a civil war. They're getting ready for civil unrest, and the reason why they're getting ready for it, quote unquote, is they're planning it. You know, it's all being planned out. It's all going to be a controlled demolition and a breakdown of society. You see what I mean? But things are going to get out of control at the same time. All right, this is the time of Jacob's trouble. This is the time where 2/3 of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans here in the land of America, you're going to be in great distress. You're going to be in great trouble. Having people trying to kill you, you know, purge like events. All right, famine, because they're going to
Like that one rough hour.
cut the food and water supplies, and they're going to siege Babylon the Great, America. There's going to be a siege and a basically implosion in this place. You see, and the scriptures speak about how the love of many waxing cold. You know, because iniquity shall abound. Yahweh Shai said that in Matthew the 24th chapter. Which, oh yeah, well you see in the comment, somebody said Yahweh showed me in a dream. That's heavy, man. So Jake know the names. You know, but what about Yahweh Shai? You know, that's always the thing. Sometime with these guys, man, you know, they always just acknowledge Yahweh, which is the true and proper name of the Most High, the Heavenly Father. But you always gotta throw the Son in there because Yahweh Shai is the one that died for our sins, and we wouldn't even know Yahweh. We would actually be casted away from Yahweh if it wasn't for Yahweh Shai. So, you know, that's just a little tidbit, but. Here's a document. It's like I said, ResearchGate.net. This is fucking annoying. The silent shift: how the Pentagon's new rules redefine intelligence, lethal force, and domestic law enforcement. So they basically doing what? Control opposition, because they got the agent provocateurs. You know, they got these people who certain protests and.
Oh, domestic law enforcement was mentioned as well. That goes into Operation Aurora, man, that Trump is proposing. That goes right into it. Like, it could be for when they can, if they was to cancel the elections, but if you think about it, maybe they won't. And they'll let Trump get up in there. And people will breathe a huge sigh of relief. A lot of people will breathe a huge sigh of relief. You know, the Trump supporters, you know, will breathe a huge sigh of relief. And a lot of these half-truthers, they're Trump supporters. So they'll breathe a huge sigh of relief. You know, like, damn. So the elections wasn't canceled, so we have a chance. And then Trump gets up in there, which I believe it's going to be a roller coaster ride even until then. But Trump gets up in there and, you know, hey, he actually implements that one rough hour shit. Cops get blanket immunity. All that shit, man. Deportation camps, all that shit. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg of what these devils want to do, man. Really just the tip of the iceberg. Like, but let me get that, before I go in further, let me get that, matter of fact, I actually reposted that very tweet where he talks about Operation Aurora. I reposted it and I quoted it. Let's look that up. Those exact words. Oh yeah. Latest. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, let me get on down to it, though. That Run Rough Hour was proposed at this campaign event in Erie, Pennsylvania. He pitched an answer to violent crime and robbery like the Purge, man. And then, honestly, man, that's weird because I did retweet that, you know. But with a quote, you know, I quoted it. Let's fucking look up. Ugh. Let's go. Let's look that up. What I have on that. Fucking shit, dude. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this. Let's get it. Let's get it from his actual Twitter page, you know? Because this plays right into it. Latest. Come on, homeboy. This is, honestly, it's irritating, though. Maybe it was deleted. No, the fuck it wasn't. I found it. We are now known all through the world as Occupied America. This is his fucking tweet promoting this shit, man. And he also said it at a rally in Aurora, Colorado. But let me read on it. But to everyone here in Colorado and all across our nation, I make you this vow. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. I'll rescue Aurora and every town that has been invaded and conquered. And we will put these vicious, pay attention to how he's wording it too. And we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country. In honor of Jocelyn Nungaray, Laken Riley, Rachel Maureen, and all the others that are dead and mortally wounded at the hands of migrants who should have never been allowed into our country. I'm announcing that today, upon taking office, what did he say about his first day? He talked about being a dictator on his first day, bro. Upon taking office, we will have an Operation Aurora at the federal level to expedite removals of this quote-unquote savage gang. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1978 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. No person who has inflicted the violence and terror that Kamala Harris has inflicted on this community can ever be allowed to become president of the United States. Now let's say, well, let's say they actually allow, this devil Nero to get up in there again, man. Let's say they actually allow it, People are going to be like, you have people that's going to be like, fuck yeah, this is needed. We need to, we need, basically a martial law type situation to take care of these so-called migrants. Well, y'all been played, man. Y'all have been played. Because both the Trump and Biden administrations have a role in bringing those very migrants here, man. Let's get it. I'm gonna get it. But it started with a Trump executive order because these devils, they also deal with deception, man. That's actually their first, what they go to first. But hold on. I'm trying to get it, man. I'm trying to get it. Yes, this one. Kala Yalba Shami outside by Shamakakurash. Alright, this is one of his last executive orders, man. This is like, come on, I'm gonna read it. POTUS issues 18-month deferred enforced departure DED for certain Venezuelans. That's how it started. Original date announced January 19, 2021. January 19, 2021. President Trump issued a presidential memorandum deferring the removal of Venezuelan nationals present in the United States as of January 20 and January 20, 2021. And that's right when Biden came in, Biden administration action approved, retained. Yeah. Yeah. But as you can see, it's all these actions bringing them in is original, was Trump that he made the first move, as you can see. And we get that file. Yeah, dude, it's right here. Memorandum on deferred enforced departure for certain Venezuelans. January 19, 2021. Memorandum for the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Homeland Security. Subject: deferred enforced departure for certain Venezuelans. And it was because the excuse was, we gotta let them stay here because, Maduro's putting hell on them. That was the excuse. But when you read through it, accordingly, I hereby, like that, the first is their excuse. But I'm going to continue. The second page is what goes into what this memorandum actually does. Accordingly, I hereby direct you to take appropriate measures to defer for 18 months the removal of any national of Venezuela or so-called alien without nationality who has last habitually resided in Venezuela, whose presence in the United States as of January 20th, 2021, except for so-called aliens who, 1, have voluntarily returned to Venezuela or their country of last habitual residence outside the United States, 2, have not continually resided in the United States since January 20, 2021, 3, are inadmissible under Section 212A or parentheses A parentheses 3 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, parentheses 8 USC 1182 parentheses A parentheses 3, Yeah. All that between the semicolon. Well, not semicolon, some other shit, man. It's like parentheses. or removal under section 230, removable under section 237A and 4, parentheses A, parentheses 4, which says of the INA 8 USC 1227 8 and 4. And it was basically the framework for it. It was basically them making that first move. You know, Esau moved with gradualism, you know, right? Because verse 4, you know, Biden just took it further, you know. Who have been convicted of any felony or 2 or more misdemeanors committed in the United States, or will meet the criteria set forth in section 208B2A, all in parentheses except for the 208 part of the INA, you know, who were deported, excluded, or removed prior to that January 20th, 2021, and basically whose presence in the U.S. the Secretary of Homeland Security has determined not in the interest of the U.S. or presents a danger to public safety, which that is basically up to them. That's the key right there. And whose presence in the United States, the Secretary of State has reasonable grounds to believe would have potentially serious foreign policy consequences for the U.S. And then he says, I further direct the Secretary of Homeland Security, to take appropriate measures to authorize employment for aliens whose removal has been deferred, as provided by this memorandum for the duration of such deferral. You know, but that was like the start of all that, you know. And then, guess who took it further? That was Biden, man. To see how he laid the framework, basically like set the stage for all that shit, you know. And then he gonna come with the solution, really the elite solution. But yeah, you know, then this is his solution, which is really the elite's solution, Operation Aurora at the federal level. So, really, this was a case of order out of chaos, man. That's what it was. And this devil, he talked about giving these cops, you know, immunity, blanket immunity is talked about. So, when you think about it, and people can say, well, Congress is going to stop on them. I mean, they can, but it'll just be like rerouted to the Supreme Court, you know? Which the Supreme Court is most likely. No, yeah, man, that's their agenda. They gonna greenlight it, man. So, yeah, you know, and it looks like that's their agenda. And this is me speaking as a man, but if you think about it, it's what these devils would do. You know, specifically Amalek, you know, that's what they would do. Basically, they're gonna like stir up and fund, well, I believe, you know, in the case that Trump's gonna win, which looks very fucking likely, they're gonna stir up this color revolution and fund it, you know. You know, the left wingers and the migrants, man. Said even a lot of the pro Palestine supporters, man, is gonna jump on board. Which they don't fuck with either candidate, but you know, You already know, man, with the Heritage Foundation pushing out Project Esther. I'm going to go into that. Because we not ignorant of none of these devil's devices, man. Like, hey, you know, they're already going to know, man. Like, this devil's going to be the most pro so-called State of Israel president again. But basically, there's going to be, I could see it, mass protests that turn violent. You know, a color revolution type scenario, man. A color revolution type scenario. Like the George Floyd riots, but worse. Way worse. Because this time, that's his second term. Like the anti-Trump protests that happened in 2016 and outrage in the George Floyd riots, but worse. Basically. You're gonna have Jake that gets involved as well, of course. And they're just all gonna lump our people into just one category with the protesters, you know. You're gonna have agent provocateurs, you're gonna have all that shit, man. You know, as with any controlled opposition, you know, mass protest movement. Especially if they want to turn it into a color revolution type scenario. You know. Just like they've been doing in all these so-called third world countries that they wanted to destabilize and overthrow their leaders. Except think about it, this will be one that is actually destined to fail, you know? A controlled opposition type color revolution. A huge snare for our people. Funded by Soros. Most likely. You could already see it. You could already see it, man. And in the media, just like saying, like, basically pushing out that message that people need to stop Trump. But Fox News pushing out the opposite message. Both controlled by the elites. And then, you know, the shills on both the left and the right, you know, pushing their message, you know. But I believe that they're gonna like stir the pot again, you know, to cause this color revolution and try their best to get Jake involved, you know, as a snare, you know, because it's also what Esau does, you know. You know, hey, crafty counsel, man. Crafty counsel. All I'm gonna say, that's what they do, man. So they can then justify, oh, fuck me. I clicked on some shit and, Salakia Akim. But, let me look that up. Count Seal, maybe. Okay. The spelling be different, you know. That's what you gotta understand. Honestly, dude, I'm just gonna go to... Actually, I'm gonna go to Psalm 64. It shows that this is how to get down. And this is a snare, right? Psalm 64, verse 2. Verse 1, I'm gonna start there, actually. Preserve to the chief musician a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Verse 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And Esau is the wicked. You know, it's in Malachi chapter 1, you know, first 4 verses. It proves Esau is the wicked. Verse 2, hide me from the secret, as well as Psalm 17, 13 and 14. Esau is the sword, and the wicked is the sword. You know, Esau is the blessing of the sword, and he and the wicked is called the sword of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. And you just read 13 and 14 of Psalms chapter 17, and it just tells you, man, just that's Esau. But anyways, I'm going to continue. Verse 3, who whet their tongue like a sword. So they use their tongue like a sword, like a weapon. And bend their bows to shoot their arrows. Even bitter words, unrighteous decrees, propaganda. Verse 4, psyops. That's also a weapon of theirs, but it's a soft weapon. It's the first weapon that they resort to using. But if it doesn't work, they just go with the actual sword, Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Verse 6, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. The scriptures also say that, like, they sleep not, man, lest they cause someone to fall, man. So they lose sleep. They lose sleep because of this, man. Psalms 4 and 16. For they sleep not, except they have done. Oh, Khan. Let me get the first two verses before that. Khan. The water, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Verse 15. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. Verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Man. Verse 17. And we've been causing them a lot of sleepless nights, man. Verse 17. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. That is their lifestyle, man. Wickedness. That is what they... Dude, that's them, man. They're the wicked. And this is what they do, man. They're always plotting. They're always plotting, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if such a snare has already been set. And that's actually what they've been trying to do. Even now. To set that stage for that snare, man. That controlled opposition, color revolution style, violent protest movement that they got planned to justify coming down with great wrath, man. And it actually goes deeper. It goes way deeper, man. Cause, oh man, prophecy just flying out the pages, of the scriptures. But it goes deeper. Not trying to call nobody right now. Or answer calls. But it goes deep, man. Yeah, whatever. I'm trying to find that God. Oh yes. This right here, man. Because you go into what Glenn Beck was saying about the Venezuelan migrants and the TDA gang, Trinidad, just in case you don't know what that means. You go into what Glenn Beck was saying about them, and he mixed truth with lies because it is a part of that strategy to basically destabilize shit, cause chaos. But they mix truth with lies because they're blaming it on Iran and shit. They're blaming it on Iran and Hezbollah when it's actually the elites of the nation of Esau, Edom that are behind it. But anyways, yeah, like last night posted this, and this is a very possible scenario, man. Right at I was responding to a brother's post that was right at 1044, where I was at. But basically, also this comes to play that they could use to justify cracking down here in Babylon using the Alien Enemies Act, and also use it to justify going to war with Iran and its allies. But I'm gonna read that. Yeah, first, it's actually a response to my own other reply. If Trump was chosen, the most likely scenario in this move in the civil war, because civil war is going to happen either way, will come from leftists and migrants, particularly the TDA members, which are brought in to cause chaos. Because I speak as a man, but this is very likely. I believe that both the Trump and Biden administrations, made a deal with the Maduro government, because the Maduro government wanted to get rid of its prisoners, its most violent ones. And so they made a deal with them. We'll take your prisoners, but, we'll take them out of your hand, to the U.S. Just release them. We'll orchestrate this whole deal to bring them into the U.S. as migrants. But, like there was like a second part to that, they were gonna be used by the U.S. government to cause chaos in the U.S., man, and that's what you see going on. I would say the heads probably sold out, so to get their people out of prison and into the U.S. And they saw this as a potential to expand in the U.S., to make it. And, but really, and that's how they pitched it to the people, to their peoples, But really, it was like to cause chaos in the U.S. So then they could have this scenario, man. To basically implement these unrighteous decrees that's already on the book, That's going to be used in the Operation Aurora. But then that blanket immunity for cops is really going to, play a very important factor. In that Operation Aurora in one rough hour. Yep. This also brings in, Trump's day one where he says he's going to be a dictator, just give me a day. This also brings in the narrative that Glenn Beck has been pushing about Hezbollah training TDA members. Look it up. Well, it's really Iran. Should have corrected myself, but Hezbollah is like close ally of Iran, And they said they're also there, man, in Venezuela. These devils could claim that Hezbollah and Iran waged war against Babylon, which is the U.S., by training TDA members to cause the chaos, which would be used to justify using the Alien and Enemies Act, as well as use it to justify going to war with Iran and its allies, which would include Venezuela. And they've been trying to get at Venezuela for a minute now. So basically, Esau Edom set also a snare for Maduro and his government, man. He also set a snare for them. And Maduro fell for that snare, man. Which I wonder why, he fell for it. What did he think he was gaining out of it besides releasing those prisoners? But anyways, he fell for that snare, man. And then this comment right here, man. It's honestly what's going on. What you think the elites brought them out of Venezuelan prisons for? And those TDA gang members, there wasn't that much of them here in the States before, man. Come on. Put two and two together. Because they gave a fuck about him, LOL? No. Obviously not, man. The elites of Esau Edom, like, they especially not gonna give a fuck about those Jakes, man. Nah, they're being used for a purpose to cause chaos so these same elites can bring the order, LOL. That's that Operation Aurora. That's that Rex 84. That's that King Alfred plan, man. That's that Aliens Enemies Act of 1798, you know? It's all that. Insurrection Act as well. It's all that. All that's going to be used. You know, all these, and that DOD directive as well that was just brought out in this video. And other videos that brothers have been posted. It's all there, man. It's all there. And that's why I say that this is their move. That's why I say that. Because if you sincerely think that it's going to stop with just the so-called migrants, you know, you shit, dude, like, come on, man. You're gullible, like, to be honest. If you really think that Trump's just going to stop with the migrants, you know, this Zionist puppet, and he's just going to stop with the migrants, you were sadly mistaken. He's talked about getting rid of the, who they call, you know, small hat hitters, man. He's talked about getting rid of them, you know. The pro-Palestine protests and shit. He's talked about getting rid of birthright citizenship. You know, what you think you're going to do in that day, man. You know, he's going to get rid of that birthright citizenship. So ultimately, this goes into their ultimate plan, man. Ultimately, they'll say, see how they'll point to all the deaths that happened from that rough hour, Operation Aurora, all that shit, you know? And they'll say, there's a better way, though. There's a better way. We can just require people that's coming into the U.S. and people in the U.S. to get this digital ID, which will let us know that they are U.S. citizens. And we need to make it so that it's that visa, mobile visa tracking system that he spoke of. Land, sea, and air, man. You can track them on land, sea, and air. Now, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? And you can't take it out. It fuses into your skin. What comes to mind? The RFID chip, man. That's what comes to mind. And they have talked about chipping so-called illegal immigrants before. You know, by that chip, you know, one of these, a cop can just, or just a drone or some shit like that can fucking scan it and tell whether you're a U.S. citizen or not, you know? And if you don't have a chip, it will automatically be assumed that you're not a U.S. citizen. Now, Trump has also talked about, ID for groceries, man. You don't have to have ID for groceries. Technically, you don't. You could pay for it all with cash. And you don't need ID. So, what is he alluding to? What is he hinting at? I'll get it. Revelation, this is in the future. He was throwing out hints of what these devils are going to do in the future. And this is going to happen regardless who they chose to be the next president. But the way I'm seeing things, you know, and a lot of brothers are seeing things, just noticing things, it seems like Trump was chosen. But let me get it. Revelation 13:16 down to 18. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 But basically, 6 and 17 are key right there, man. That's, even though with 18, when you look at Tri-Side Stigma, you could tell that that's the RFID chip. But when you break down Charagma, you could tell that as well. It's the RFID chip. So that's going to be placed in, because epi also means in. The Greek word there also means in. But yeah. And really, Operation Aurora, you know, 1 rough hour is also verse 15. You know, like the ultimate version of that. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast, the system, should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You know. It's also that which is before verse 16. Because it's the first step. But yeah, you know. It's ultimately a setup to implement mandatory RFID chip, in which is the mark of the beast. Required to buy or sell, man. It will eventually be required, whether it is required right after to buy and sell. Well, this also goes into digital bucks, man, which they will eventually implement. Because, Jake, Jake, and even these other nations in Esau, but Jake is going to come up with a way to finesse the system if you can still buy shit in cash, or even like debit cards and all that. Even if cash itself was phased out. There's even a way to finesse that system, even though it will be getting harder and harder to finesse. But I could see them going that route, and eventually digital money, but not only digital money, but only available in RFID, implantable RFID chip form, to prevent Jake from finessing the system, and other heathens and Esau, from finessing the system as well, And that's ultimately the hour of temptation, man, which is spoken of in Revelation 3 and 10. That's going to come upon the whole world, because these other countries are going to see what America is doing, and they're going to implement it there. Hey, we can use this to stop migrants here, like in Europe. They also have a migrant problem, that they themselves orchestrated. And they, they can also implement that solution there. In all these other countries, the perfect solution to stop the migrant problem, the unidentified person problem. Let's just keep it real, what it really is. Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Verse 11, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Verse 12, let's go into that. What was the word for that, like, what they used to call, that shit that was used to justify you taking, like, basically they tried to make everybody take the jump shot, and it was like a trial run of what's going to happen. And what was it called? Isn't it crown in Spanish? Which comes from Latin. Spanish language, a lot of it comes from Latin. Verse 12, him that overcometh, it may have been like some sort of like hint, what they was trying to do. But that was just a fucking trial run. The jump shot was not the MOTB, because there was many places where you didn't have to get it. Just to clear that up. But it was a trial run. Verse 12, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power Yahweh, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon the name of my power Yahweh, and the name of the city of my power Yahweh, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power Yahweh, and I'll write upon him a new name. Ultimately, we're Jerusalem. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Desire be of that number, the elect of the nation of Israel, true nation of Israel, is Jerusalem. And then that will include the rest of Jake that come back, the 2/3 that died on this side, because they was wicked and they didn't repent because they wasn't meant to. But they'll come back in their right minds in the kingdom. But that death will be horrible. The worst death you could ever die. And the longest, most lasting as well. It will seem longer than it actually is. That, speaking specifically of the lake of fire, which is the nukes hitting this place, which will be the end of this place. But anyways, because when you're on so-called UFO, that's like bird's eye view, but even better. And America on fire from 200 million nuclear warheads hitting it from every other country, especially Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, is going to look like a lake of fire. And that's how the apostle, he's John the Revelator, bro. That's how John the Revelator, that prophet, described it, But anyways, verse 12, him that overcometh, this is the motivation to endure unto the end, to overcome. And only the elect will be motivated. Verse 12, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power Yahweh. Okay, I already read that, bro. Verse 13, though, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches, which ultimately is going into what was written about in about these 7 churches, right? The churches of Philadelphia, that's really like the elect right there, man. The gathering of Philadelphia, really. That's really that elect right there in Philadelphia. Even though it was a real church, a real gathering, the word church is not really the word that should be there. It should be gathering. Ecclesia was the Greek word there. But, and it, it's a gathering of people. Nothing about a building. But, anyways, yeah, man. Yeah. It was actually to the church in Philadelphia, the so-called church, when you read up. And Philadelphia goes into brotherly love, True brotherly love. And it goes in, it was called the city of brotherly love, and, goes into that brotherly love that the elect have for each other, man. That's something that that's a characteristic that the actual elect would have, that brotherly love. But yeah, that hour of temptation, that's what it is. That pressure from above and pressure from below that these elites are going to put on the people to ultimately take that MOTB, which is that RFID chip. And then you have Revelation 2 and 10, which goes into them FEMA camps. Goes into that. Trump has talked about rolling out the guillotine, bringing them back. there's which guillotines have been at these FEMA camps, and they found them. They found caskets as well. You know, just they found shit at these areas, man. It indicates that, you know, that's what they gonna do. So and Trump, you know, he's openly talked about bringing them back. You know, Revelation 2:10. Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you in the prison. I'm gonna go into the beheading part, like that's in Revelation 2. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Which that's just the that's really like the 10 days is the time that some brothers may go through. You know, some may go through 10 months, you know, 10 weeks, you know, 10 hours even, you know. It's like in other parts of the scriptures where they give like a amount of time like that, but it's not really, you know, specifically that, you know, for every brother that ends up in these FEMA camps or even just locked up in general in these jails and other prisons. But with what he's proposing, they're gonna be, these prisons is gonna be full, man. These regular prisons. So a lot of you Jakes are gonna be sent to these FEMA camps. Yeah, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death. Faithful unto death. As these are death camps. And I will give thee a crown of life. Verse 11, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Shall not be hurt. This was written to the angel of this church in, what was written to the church, so-called church, gathering in Smyrna, you know. But it applies now, man. It applies now because all these people are back. Reincarnation. So it applies now. But anyways, that's biblical. Reincarnation is totally biblical. But, which I've gone over in other videos and other brothers have as well. You know, you can watch those. But anyways, let me go to, Revelation, I think it's in 20. Because that's twofold, man. Let me see if it's there. Let me just do this, actually. Go back. Could be... hold on. If it literally mentions that, which... Dude. For some reason it's acting weird. Revelation 20:4. I knew I would find it. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them. And judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, nor in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach, Yahushua, 1,000 years. Now that's twofold. As this happened to Jake, that believed in Hamashiach Yahushua during the times of Nero, man. And then soon after, but not like right away, Jake started to rule, man. And eventually the Jakes that, you know, sort of believed in Hamashiach Yahushua started to rule, you know. You know, that belief in Hamashiach had a more influence than it had before. It started with Constantine, even though he was a wicked nigga that mixed the practice, that basically made paganism look scriptural and biblical. You know, but still you get the point. You know, the saints are ultimately, which those are, they're the sanctified ones. Ultimately, that's Jake. But, You know, especially the elect. You know, but yeah, bro. But yeah, bro. Because the first already was already like already over, and then you had the Renaissance. That was when this devil, who is also called Satan, his adversary or top adversary, he was released. And that bottomless pit, that's Europe. But you could watch the Apostles' breakdown on that, for more info. But basically, hey, bro, where, hey, Jake is gonna be getting beheaded again, man. And Trump has actually talked about bringing that back. And then you have the plans. You have that plan to behead people at the FEMA camps and shit. So you have that, and then you have Trump talking about bringing that back. And okay, so just you so like if you put the pieces together, man, hey man, that shit's coming soon. Whether Trump or Kamala was chosen, but like I said, I believe it was Trump. All the signs are showing that it was. About bringing back guillotines. There you go. Back guillotines. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Trump want to bring it back, bro. That's reports is saying you could fucking honestly dude, yeah, man. Come on. Based on this other shit you've been saying, bro, and how the prisons and even FEMA camps are gonna be getting filled up, how these countries is not gonna wanna take the migrants back. So you could see this happening, man. I'm also gonna get this, where Trump has talked about death penalty for drug dealers, which those are witches and warlocks, so it should be happening. But why are they prepare? Why are they talking about that like today, man? Why do they give a fuck all of a sudden, man? That's the real question. So you have this Trump campaign email, which they could say it was not meant literally, but do the math. Basically, yeah, this is that email that said, haul out the guillotine. Campaign email, haul out the guillotine. Then you have Trump has been asking his advisors questions like, what do you think of firing squads? And then I believe it mentions guillotines too. When planning his campaign messaging, Rolling Stone, which, you could say they're just like making shit up. But, which they do a lot, y'all, it would have a point. But let's think about what Trump has been saying lately at the same time. Sources tell Rolling Stone, so maybe this was like their way of letting us know, like predictive programming. But, our people didn't fucking see it, as usual. But sources tell Rolling Stone Trump has been talking about how executions could fit in campaign messaging. Trump asked advisors about bringing back the firing squad and the use of guillotines, sources said. Sources have also told Rolling Stone that Trump has discussed the idea of group executions. Hey, bro. Former president, it could actually be true considering what he's been saying. Former President Donald Trump has been asking advisors what they think of bringing back firing squads and other banned execution methods. And since then, there's been like some states that believe it's a couple states that like have talked about bringing back firing squads, like Utah, I believe. But let me continue. What they think of bringing back firing squads and other banned execution methods, Rolling Stone reports. Rolling Stone spoke to 3 anonymous sources about the campaign-related conversations Trump has been having with his associates. According to these sources, Trump has on more than one occasion asked his aides questions like, "What do you think of firing squads?" 2 Rolling Stone advisors say Trump has had discussions with his advisors about everything from bringing back group executions to using banned execution methods like the guillotine. A third source who spoke to Rolling Stone said Trump had also privately considered if it would be possible to launch an ad campaign to promote these execution methods. This ad campaign would involve airing footage from the execution. This nigga Nero. The former president believes this would help put the fear of God, what he calls God, into violent criminals, a source told Rolling Stone. He wanted to do some of these things when he was in office, but for whatever reasons he didn't have the chance. Probably because it would backfire and prevent a second term or some shit. But let me continue, because they gotta keep up that illusion of choice, but also like until the end. But also it wasn't the end yet. They didn't have everything they had today. A Trump spokesperson told Insider that Rolling Stone's third source's recount of a possible Trump ad campaign featuring televised executions is ridiculous and fake news. So they said it was fake news. But hey, considering the shit that he has said recently, maybe it's not fake news. And it would fit biblical prophecy. And of course they would say that. At a rally in September, Trump also urged Congress to immediately institute the death penalty for drug dealers. This is despite Trump himself having granted pardons to people who served time for drug trafficking charges. Trump ended his term in office with the raft of federal executions. His administration executed 13 people between July 20th and January 2021. Trump's administration also amended the federal execution protocols before he left office, charting a path for the government to use poison gas and firing squads in future executions. And of course, DeSantis, down there in Florida, who's endorsed Trump, he said that, and he's big time Zionist as well, and he's secretly for the vax. You look at one of those laws that's supposed to be anti-vax, it actually provides a very big loophole to enforce the vax, So he's also for that jump shot, man. As well as Trump, the Operation Warp Speed Dawn, man. But anyways, yeah. Hey, if you a drug dealer, hey, I would say either way. But Trump is being open about it, He is being open about it. So Trump proposes death penalty for drug dealers and requiring stop and frisk. This is aimed at you tribes, man. Because he's going to go after you. These cops when they have blanket immunity, they're gonna go after your tribes, man. You already know it, man. They gonna stop and frisk you. They gonna rough you up. Where that bag of weed you got, nigga? That's what they gonna do. Shit, they might plant drugs on your ass, you know. They known to do that. Then under Trump, you know, tough on crime policies, the most tough on crime policies out there, you know. Really tough on Jake, because you know what they say about our people, and you know the cops is geared towards targeting our people. Because a lot of these cops, a lot of these PDs, even in these majority so-called black and Latino cities, are run by Edomite supremacist gangs. So you know what they about already, man. They've been waiting for this moment. So they're gonna plant drugs with some of y'all, you know, if they gotta, to meet that quota, man. And then you know, that's death penalty for your ass, man. You know, it may start with fentanyl. It may start with that, which they could plan as well. It may start with that and then moving on down. You know, we gotta get rid of all these criminals, man. But besides, we don't know what they're putting in these other drugs as well. You know, we need to get rid of all these criminals. You know, it's also how these crime organizations is making money. We need to get rid of all of them, you know. So, Salakia. But basically, I'm gonna close that. But basically, it's in part of Agenda 47, man. They basically said they want death penalty for drug dealers, man. You know, and, hey. I'm gonna get to that point, but it's gonna require stop and frisk, you know. Require it. Law enforcement agencies receiving DOJ grants, that'd be most of them, especially in these lower income areas and cities. Receiving DOJ grants to return to proven police measures such as stop and frisk, strictly enforcing existing gun laws, cracking down on the open use of illegal drugs. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's still, even weed is still considered that, man. And cooperating with ICE to arrest and deport criminal aliens, you know. So-called, right? They gonna go after your tribes, man. Which these are your 2/3, man. Because there's some 2/3 shit. But yeah, you know. Death penalty for drug dealers and human traffickers. President Trump, which human traffickers, that shit happened to them, but it says drug dealers as well. But even then, but bruh. At the same time, these Edomites are the biggest drug dealers, man. But you know, the cops, you know, these PDs is heavily influenced by Edomite supremacists, you know. So you know who they gonna target, man. You already know, man. President Trump will instruct the Department of Justice to dismantle every gang, street crew, and drug network in America. President Trump has also called for the death penalty for drug dealers and human traffickers. And policy evolution in the U.S. 21 states in the U.S. have the death penalty. 23 don't, and 6 have put executions on hold. After 2008 Supreme Court case held that the death penalty should only be used for the worst offenses, No one is on death row for a crime other than murder, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. Still, the U.S. is the global minority of countries that use ultimate punishment. But they would become, they would become the majority if this shit happened. That's me saying that, but come on. Come on. And so, if you look at it, death penalty for drug dealers being implemented as well, they're not going to have enough lethal injection shit, They're going to have to use other methods, such as firing squads, Such as guillotines, man. And that's just what it is. That's what they're going to have to use. Oh, yeah, this as well, man. Because this was all auto ad KO. Target Marxist courts without cash bail, quote unquote. President Trump will take on what he calls radical Marxist prosecutors who have abolished cash bail and refuse to charge criminals. Basically, yeah, man, that was auto ad KO, man. And even this, man, you young Jakes, man. Hey, man. You Jakes that could pretend... You Jakes... Well, only the elected is going to repent, but you Jakes better repent, man. Disciplining minors. President Trump will order the Education and Justice Department to overhaul federal standards on disciplining minors. Many of these carjackers and criminals are 13, 14, and 15 years old. I will order the Education and Justice Departments to overhaul federal standards on disciplining minors. So when troubled youth are out of control, they're out on the streets and they're going wild, we will stop it. The consequences are swift, certain, and strong, and they will know that. Hey, bro. Yeah, hey, bro, like, you think about it, man. They gonna get you, Jake, you young Jakes. You young so-called black, Latino, and Native Americans out here, which is mainly who the real Israelites are today, out here, slanging, different types of drugs, and weed is included in that. And they gonna sit, bro. They gonna stop your frisk, see if you have it, rough you up a little bit, like they used to do more. And if you have that, they find that shit on you, man. Dude, tase you, shit. You try to fight back, they shoot you. You show any type of shit, you don't. Even if you don't, but they sense some type of hostility, they gonna put you to death there. But if not, shit, it's a chance. And they put that devil Trump, aka Nero, back in office, man. It's a chance that you're gonna get put to death, man. You'll get that death penalty, man. Fast tracks, guillotine. There's a chance. Hey, so you Jakes that's hearing this message and y'all doing this shit, y'all need to repent. Y'all need to get right. Because it don't matter who y'all vote for, man. If the elites chose Trump, this is going to go down, and for this reason. But if they chose Kamala, the New World Order will also be implemented. There will be draconian measures, even such as this. But Trump is putting it out there openly, There's no hope except for Yahweh Shai, and repenting. That is the only hope. But, oh yeah, in today's context, earlier this year, Louisiana repealed a 2017 law known as raise the age, so that 17-year olds can be tried as young adults again. This move was a splashy part of a special legislative session on crime by the state's newly elected governor, Jeff Landry. So they've been doing this in these different states, you know. Yeah, so he's been saying that shit, man. He's been saying death penalty for drug dealers and shit. So all you niggas out there, man, including you Spanish speaking niggas out there that's slanging and shit, man. Gotta stop that, but only the elect will. And you know these devils is only gonna go after y'all. But yeah, man. So guillotines, my whole point, right? Guillotines will be an established way of putting people to death. So you could easily see the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, some of them which they're able to get, which are destined to be martyrs. Because there's some, but either way, our side still wins. Because dead in Hamashiach is going to rise first. So you even have hope if they put you to death in Yahushai, man. But anyways, you could see it, man. When Trump, of course, doing the bidding of the elites, goes after the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You could see that. You could see, like, us being arrested on, like, false terrorism charges or some shit. And, that's gonna be death penalty, you already know. Or it'll get so bad that even, refusing, it'll be some anti-Sem shit maybe. Or, refusing, to get that, RFID chip. They'll automatically assume that you're a criminal of some type, man. That's why you don't want to get it. Or that will be what the media is pushing out as well, Because by that time, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. They're going to go along with it because the RFID chip is what they've been trying to do. They're just going to go along with it. So, yeah, man. But something else I was going to bring up. But this is Esau coming out with great wrath. Because the other methods of keeping the population of Jake down, or just taking us out altogether, and keeping the ones who count, the elect, from knowing the truth about who they are. Because this captivity, we completely lost our heritage. All of us. All of us completely lost it. So, that happening, despite, numbers of our people just multiplying and multiplying and multiplying, no matter what, no matter what. And their women actually going to those abortion clinics and getting rid of Edomite babies is putting Esau in a corner to where he feels that his only way out is to act like, a rat when he's cornered. Or another animal when he's cornered, man. Like, they're going to fight like hell, man. They're going to be the most violent that they've ever been. So this is Esau's plan to come down with great wrath. One of like his main plan, I'm pretty sure his main plan. It looks like it. Although, if Kamala's the choice, it's a different path to that same New World Order. Because ultimately, he wants the birthright. But, if he could somehow kill all of Jake off, even the elect, then he'd be the one who would get the birthright, but it's not possible. But it ain't gonna stop him from trying. But anyways, that's why Romans 9, it compares Esau to Pharaoh, man. Yeah. Romans 9 and 10, I'm actually going to start there, man. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by her father Isaac, verse 11, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. Verse 12, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 13, that will happen in the kingdom, just like in the dark ages in the time of David and Solomon, but better, way better. Verse 13, like those times was just like a taste, especially the times of King David and Solomon. But let me continue. Verse 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Verse 14, what shall we say then? Is there in righteousness with the Most High power Yahweh? The Most High power Yahweh forbid. Verse 15, for he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Verse 16, so it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High power Yahweh that showeth mercy, man. Basically, he's saying that, like, Jacob was just chosen from the beginning, And this is similar. The elect being chosen is similar to how Jacob was chosen from the beginning. Verse 17, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout the earth. So in a way, he's comparing Esau to Pharaoh. I'm going to read on. Verse 18, therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, on whom he will he hardeneth. And guess what happened to Pharaoh? He hardened his heart, really his mind. His lob. He hardened his mind. He made him hard-headed. Didn't want, so that he wouldn't let the children of Israel go. So that the Most High Yahweh had, had to jack him up for that, and the Egyptians as well, man. You know why? So that his name might be declared throughout the earth. Verse 18, therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth. Verse 19, thou wilt say unto me, you gonna say unto me, who doeth he yet find fault? Like, for who hath resisted his will? Verse 20, nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High power Yahweh? Who are you to say something like that? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Like, why'd you make me like this? Verse 21, hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? And Jacob is that vessel unto honor, and Esau is that vessel unto dishonor. Verse 22, what if the Most High power Yahweh, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Just like Pharaoh, Esau. Esau's been ruling for a while, man, doing all types of wickedness. Endured with much long suffering, it pains him to see it. Verse 23, and that he might make known the riches, and it pains Yahushua to see it. Verse 23, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. You know, Jacob, man, the Israelites, starting with the elect. Verse 24, this will throw people off, but when you go into the history of how Jacob was forcibly Hellenized in the Maccabean era, and how this thing, in the scriptures, many proving that this thing is only for Israelites, you know, it's literally, Israelites, you gotta think of it this way, we're literally a big family, and this is the heritage that was passed down to us from our ancestors. It's what it is. So then how can any other nation take part in a heritage that was never given to them, never given to those nations? So it's clearly Jacob, man. The Gentiles are also Jake, man. Jews is just one tribe, man, and one house. It comes from the word Judah. So verse 24, even us, whom he had called, not of the Jews only, but also the Gentiles. But remember what I said. Verse 25, as he saith also in OC, Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. Hey, bro, you gotta go to OC, Hosea, and read about that. Verse 26, and it shall come to pass, this is a place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power Yahweh. Because a portion of our people was being told that. Hosea 1, even then, Hosea 1 and 10. Yet, the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass, and in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, and there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power, Yahweh. Who, you know, that's really, when you look into the Hebrew for Israel, Yasharallah, it means he is a prince of power. What is a prince to a king? A son. Verse 11, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one hand, and they shall come out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. Ultimately, that's Yahushai, man. Ultimately, that's Yahushai. And Malak Dawadah, man, King David. You know, the Yahushai being the King of Kings, and King David being the king of Yasharallah, under the house of David. Oh, it's 444 said that. You know, 4 goes into mercy, triple mercy, man. 3 times wisdom. You know, Mosai Yahweh deals with numbers. Kala Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Kakodash. Also, it's 10% battery on my phone. You know, and times 444, so it's like a hidden 144 there as well. Kala Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Kakodash. But anyways, it's signs, bro. But anyways, then shall the children. But you got it, man. That's the reference to Hosea, man. Because, you know, people will say, well, it's talking about the Gentiles without going to, like the actual ones, the heathens, without going into that reference in Hosea, man. He was referencing the Old Testament, for those that say the Old Testament was done away with. He was actually referencing the Old Testament. Y'all don't understand the Apostle Paul. And, you know, people like Deacon Hakah, man. People like even Sakari, man. Y'all don't understand the Apostle Paul, man. Because it wasn't given to you to understand them. And that's why y'all bucked up. Ultimately, Deacon Hakkad or Shikari, like, split, you know? And y'all wasn't given the knowledge of this truth, you know, because, you know, y'all most likely not of the elect, but of the 2/3, man. Which is why y'all move the way y'all do, trying to defame GMS and like-minded Akim as we like to, you know, take little girls and shit, which is a complete lie. And GMS has broken that down, and so have the like-minded Akim. But y'all continually bring that up every time y'all get cut in the spirit, man. Because y'all, the same niggas, came back who stoned the prophets, put them to death. Y'all the same ones. Same niggas who betrayed Yahushua and also tried to kill him, man. The same ones, man. Stoned Stephen after he told him all this. Same niggas, man. Same niggas. And the blood is gonna be upon y'all. Y'all are the children of those niggas. And what did man gotta go into y'all a little too, man. And cause, you know, Yahweh Shem outside, you know, you want me to go into y'all, man. It came up. But basically, man, let me get that. His blood be on us and our children. Y'all literally said that. Out of pride. Because y'all never thought, y'all didn't think that any of the words of Yahushua was going to come true. But y'all were wrong. And also, the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees, they were sellout leaders that had made a deal with Rome to stay in power. And they ultimately was scared of losing that power that they had given to them by Rome. That's why they betrayed Yahushua. But y'all went along with it. You 2/3, man. Trying to find it. New Testament. Oh, I'm just gonna Google it. Yeah, this is what you wicked 2/3 niggas was saying, man. This is what y'all was saying. Verse, I'm gonna start at verse, really, shit, I'm gonna start right here, man. Right here. It goes into you wicked niggas, man. Even 17, it goes into you wicked niggas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or Yahushua, which is called Hamashiach? Verse 18, and Barabbas, you know, he was an actual criminal, you know, when you look into it. Verse 18, for he knew that for envy they had delivered him. Verse 19, when he was sat down on the judgment seat, his wife said unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. So he was warned via his wife, who was given that dream. Verse 20, but the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua. Verse 21, the governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. So your false leaders convinced y'all to say that. Verse 22, Pilate said unto them, however they did it, right? Convinced y'all. They did it. Verse 22, Pilate said unto them, what shall I do then with Yahushua, which is called Hamashiach? They all said unto them, let him be crucified. Verse 23, and the governor said, why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified. This is you wicked niggas, man. Verse 24, not even Esau could convince y'all to not betray Yahushua. Verse 24, when Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands. Y'all was about to riot over that. He took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See it to it, which he wasn't, because he was an accomplice. Verse 25, so Esau, you're still responsible. Verse 25, because you wanted power over Jake, so you're still responsible. Verse 25, they answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. And that's the point. And, hey, you tribes are going to get it, man. You tribes are going to get it. Both wicked 2/3 of the northern and southern kingdom. Because the northern kingdom was putting them prophets to death too, man. And y'all haven't repented from y'all's wicked ways either. So y'all both is going to pay, man. Why do you think Yahweh Shem Yahushai is orchestrating these migrant caravans to bring more northern kingdom and as well as southern kingdom, Levi and Benjamin, over here, man? Mainly Levi. It's a lot of Levi. But why is that happening? This is the reason why. Most of y'all are being brought here for judgment, man. With the elect being saved. Being brought here to be saved, man. So some of those migrants are members of the elect as well, man. Who are going to get this truth. Who are going to comprehend it. And they're going to be saved. They've been predestined to be saved. But the 2/3, y'all have been predestined to be destroyed. On this side. And, y'all going to get it right on the next side. But that death is going to be hell, man. Literally is going to be the most painful death you could die, Death by pain, man. As it talks about in 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 9. I'm going to start at 7. Kala Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakagodash for this truth for real. This is like, that I'm able to see this. The fact that I'm able to see this is a miracle. Verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works in my faith, whereby ye have believed. Verse 8, shall be preserved from the sad perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I sanctified them for me from the beginning. Verse 9, then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Verse 10, for such as in their life, and torments is about to begin. Verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. Verse 11, and they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. Verse 12, the same must know it after death by pain, After that death by pain. Ultimately, it's burning in the nuclear lake of fire that America is going to become. But even before, in these deaths that y'all going to die during Jacob's trouble, man. The ones that died, by the way, y'all, is gonna be brought back just to burn, man. You know, straight up. But let me get Jeremiah 15 and start at verse 1. Then said Yahweh Shem Yahushai, said Yahweh Shem Yahushai unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards his people. This is like gonna happen again. You know, no new thing under the sun, you know. This is gonna happen again because it's the same people doing it. And it's the same power. The Most High power Yahweh Shem Yahushai doing it. The same characters are involved, playing the same movie under different names. Jeremiah 15 and 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Oh yeah, cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Verse 2, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. I'm going to keep reading. So the sword, martial law troops gunning you down, cops gunning you down during the one rough hour, man. The fuck? The famine, them economic calamities that's coming, man. That will be caused by these events, man. That's going to affect the economy. That's going to affect the economy. So such as for the famine to the famine, and such as for the captivity to the captivity. You know, FEMA camps. Enough said. Getting locked up and put in FEMA camps, you know. Verse 3, and I will appoint over, it goes in further, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy, man. You best believe during these times, man, that type of shit is gonna happen. Can't afford to feed their pets, man. People can't afford to feed their pets, man. They gonna release them. They're gonna release those pets. You know, these pets are gonna roam the streets. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have dogs, man. Plenty of dogs for sure, man. Other pets as well. You have exotic animals out here, man. You have Texas actually has the largest amount of tigers in the world because there's so many exotic pets. India is second because there's so many exotic tigers that's owned here, man. Then you count the zoos, man. When they're in that civil unrest, you don't think motherfuckers is gonna release animals from the zoos to cause more chaos? Of course they are. So, the dogs to tear, right? These packs of dogs roaming the streets. You know, if Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not with you, they're gonna tear you apart. And the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy, man. These tigers, man. Hey, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. You know? Hey, from that, all these wild animals coming in from that bloodbath, no, that's going to be known as the one rough hour. All these animals feasting on them bodies and shit. There's going to be too much of them from that shit, man. Because it's going to result. It's going to be the beginning of that bloodbath. You know? Because there's going to be a clapback to the one rough hour, man. Because Jake is going to realize they're getting mowed down out here, man. They're getting mowed down. And they're going to rise up. Jake is going to rise up. And then that's when the military is going to come in. when all of Jake, it's gonna be all of Jake. They're gonna realize they have one common enemy, and that's when the military is gonna come in. You know, shit. They may even need help from who? The UN. You know, Henry Kissinger, when he said what he said, he was speaking of the LA riots. Who was participating in the LA riots? Jake, mainly Judah, so-called black men. You know why? Because Rodney King beat the fuck out of him. You know? And Jake was not playing that shit back then. That's gonna come back. That young lion is gonna come back. And Judah, all the way down to Issachar, they're gonna unite. And they're gonna be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. We gotta fight back. We gotta fight back. And all the Judite gangs and militias, all the Northern Kingdom, Latino gangs and militias, shit, even Gad, bro. Gad's gonna realize, bro. Gad shall overcome at the last. The so-called Native Americans too, man. They gonna realize what's going on. Hey, we're next. You know, they're gonna fight back. You know, it's gonna be like the 66 riots in Jerusalem, but worse. You know, because all 12 tribes are gonna be involved. And then, that's not even including the Israelite foreigners, which some of them even then are gonna wake up. Even then, when they realize that you know, Jake is being taken out, you know, unjustly and shit, and that they're just murdering anybody and everybody. A lot of these Israelite foreigners is also gonna be like, is gonna join the side of Jake, man. A lot of them. And they're gonna fight against Esau. Which is why I believe these devils are gonna need help from the UN. They're gonna need these machines, you know, as the response from the military. Because you're gonna have race wars within the military, man. So that response, because there's a lot of Jake up in the military. So you're gonna have race wars within the military. So they've been developing these robots as well, man, to crack down, man. And come on, what's to say Trump don't call in the UN? You know, he don't like come on, you can see he's gonna do it, man. Call in the UN, you know, call in roll out the drones, you know, them Terminator robots they got and been working on. Call them out, you know, to mow Jake down. You know, it's gonna be all hell, man. It's gonna be all hell breaking loose out here. All hell breaking loose out here. And death is just other forms of death, right? Death is all forms of death. Other forms of death. That then the ones that are mentioned, the sword, the famine, captivity. Pestilences, man. Pestilences. Hey, you had a drill not too long ago about a pestilence being released. Let me get it, in fact, Sears, right? About a pestilence being released on the, like in the world, and in the US, and it came from South America. Just look, Sears 2025. They call it Sears here, you know. There you go.
HEB's hundreds of weekly coupons
They did the
add up
same
to
thing
big savings
for Event 201 before the you know what, man.
on the food my family loves.
This is for 2025. and you could see it
Severe
happening.
epidemic enterovirus
Happening.
respiratory syndrome, or SEERS for short, is a fictional respiratory disease which
It was first fictional at eventual one.
for the purposes of this video, is caused by a newly identified enterovirus strain. In this video, we will explore the potential impact and challenges that such a disease could pose on global public health. Drawing from the knowledge of existing enteroviruses and respiratory illnesses, we will discuss the hypothetical epidemiology, clinical manifestations, and treatment strategies that might be associated with the SEERS disease. So, if you're ready, let's get into it. As previously mentioned, SEERS is a hypothetical disease as there is no known condition with this specific name. However, it appears to be a combination of terms related to respiratory infections and enteroviruses. Enteroviruses are a group of RNA viruses that include polioviruses, Coxsackie viruses, echoviruses, and others. They can cause a variety of illnesses, such as hand, foot, and mouth disease, meningitis.
Now, haven't they been talking about polio coming back? That's one of these diseases.
And encephalitis. Some enteroviruses can also cause respiratory infections,
Oh,
but these are typically not as severe as other respiratory illnesses, such as severe acute respiratory syndrome, aka SARS, or Middle East respiratory syndrome, also known as MERS. Both SARS and MERS are caused by coronaviruses and can lead to severe respiratory infections, causing symptoms such as fever, cough, and shortness of breath. SARS emerged in 2002 to 2003, while MERS was first reported in 2012. Both have been associated with high mortality rates and global public health concerns. So now let's talk about the epidemiology. In our hypothetical scenario, SEERS emerges in a densely populated urban area, rapidly spreading through respiratory droplets and close person-to-person contact. The
so mask up might come back first.
virus would likely demonstrate a high reproduction number, indicating its ability to spread quickly and efficiently amongst acceptable populations. As the outbreak escalates, healthcare systems will become strained, with hospitals and clinics overwhelmed by the surge of patients seeking treatment for severe respiratory symptoms. Next up is the clinical manifestations. SEERS would present a range of clinical symptoms, ranging from mild flu-like symptoms to severe respiratory distress.
Oh,
In mild cases, individuals may experience fever, cough, sore throat, and fatigue. However, as the disease progresses, more severe cases would exhibit symptoms such as difficulty breathing, chest pain, and even acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS. The virus's affinity for the respiratory system could potentially lead to an increased risk of pneumonia, particularly in vulnerable populations.
This sounds very, very, very familiar.
Such as
So it's basically that, but the reboot, and something that will truly get our attention, according to Bill Gates. Let me continue.
the elderly, immunocompromised individuals, and those with pre-existing respiratory conditions. And that leads to the treatment and prevention strategies. Given the novelty of this hypothetical enterovirus, treatment options for SEERS would initially be limited. Supportive care such as oxygen therapy and mechanical ventilation might be required for severe cases. As researchers work to develop targeted antiviral therapies and vaccinations, public health measures would play a crucial role in mitigating the spread of the virus. Strategies such as social distancing, mask wearing, frequent hand washing, and widespread testing would be implemented to slow transmission rates and protect vulnerable populations. In the face of a global threat like SEERS, international cooperation and information sharing would be crucial to mounting an effective response. Organizations such as the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention would play a key role in coordinating efforts, providing guidance on the best practices, and supporting research initiatives. Furthermore, countries would need to invest in their public health infrastructure, and surveillance information sharing would be crucial to mounting an effective response. Organizations such as the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention would play a key role in coordinating efforts.
This would honestly also be the best excuse that they would have for not only, you know, mandatory jump shots, but also, you know, way hard stopping the flow of migration. Just gonna say that completely, and implementing this ultimate solution.
Providing guidance on the best practices and supporting research initiatives. Furthermore, countries
I'm
would
gonna say this could happen under Trump or Harris, but under Harris, you would receive more backlash. You know, more backlash. You know, because nobody likes her ass. With Trump, you would receive backlash as well, but not as much. And it would be less organized. You know, hey, Trump, he sold the jump shot, man. Operation Warp Speed. He was one of the best jump shot salesmen, you know. You know, you think Fauci did a number on our people, man. Trump was fucking slanging that shit. So why would they not bring him back for the second round?
need to invest in their public health infrastructure and surveillance.
That's a plot twist that these people that are not for the jump shot, that support this devil, man. That's a plot twist that they didn't see coming.
Surveillance systems to detect and respond to emerging infectious diseases promptly.
Pretty much.
And you may be wondering, what exactly is the difference between an enterovirus and a coronavirus? Well, allow me to briefly explain. Enteroviruses and coronaviruses are two distinct families of viruses that can cause illness in humans. Although both can lead to respiratory infections, they have differences in terms of their genetic makeup, structure, and the range of diseases that they cause. Here is a comparison of the two. First, we must discuss the genetic makeup.
Radical Christian Carranza wants to tell Texas her story, but some parts are missing. Like
Enteroviruses are a group of single-stranded RNA viruses belonging to the P. cornaviridae family. They include polioviruses.
Before you double say something, this is basically, let me get that copyright disclaimer. Because you gotta. Yep. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Coxsackie viruses, echoviruses, and other enteroviruses. Coronaviruses are also single-stranded RNA viruses, but belong to the Coronaviridae family. There are 7 known human coronaviruses, including the ones responsible for the common cold, SARS, MERS, and the recent pandemic-causing virus, aka COVID-19. Next is the
They
structure.
said it, not me.
Enteroviruses are small, non-enveloped viruses with a protein shell that surrounds their genetic material. Coronaviruses are larger, enveloped viruses with a distinctive crown-like appearance due to the spike proteins on their surface. These spike proteins play a crucial role in the virus's ability to enter host cells. Next is the transmission and symptoms. Both enteroviruses and coronaviruses can be transmitted through respiratory droplets, close person-to-person contact, and contaminated surfaces. However, enteroviruses can also be transmitted through the fecal-oral route. which is not a common transmission route for coronaviruses. Enteroviruses can cause a wide range of illnesses, including hand, foot, and mouth disease, meningitis, encephalitis, and myocarditis. Respiratory infections caused by enteroviruses are typically...
This is very fucking convenient. Because if you know, you know what that jump shot caused, man. Peep what they just said. You know what that jump shot causes. So what's to stop them from saying that, oh, it's being caused by this new series, you know?
mild, such as the common cold. Coronaviruses are primarily associated with respiratory illnesses. While some strains cause mild cold-like symptoms, others can lead to severe respiratory infections with high mortality rates.
And they're gonna say it, not me.
And now,
for you YT, well, they're the ones that showed it, not me. For you YT moderators,
we must discuss the treatment and prevention. There are no specific
and the fucking algorithm
antiviral treatments for enterovirus or coronavirus infections, although research is ongoing, especially for COVID-19. Supportive care is provided to manage symptoms and complications. Vaccines are available for some enteroviruses, such as the polio virus. For coronaviruses, vaccines have been developed as the world experienced a global
they're
pandemic.
saying it all.
While both enteroviruses and coronaviruses are single-stranded RNA viruses that can cause respiratory infections, they belong to different families and have notable differences in their genetic makeup, structure, and associated diseases. And you may also be wondering, what is the difference between SEERS and COVID-19? As I said before, while SEERS is a fictional disease, it may be helpful to compare enteroviruses with the well-known COVID-19 virus. COVID-19 is caused,
keep in mind what they said before,
by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is a coronavirus, not an enterovirus. COVID-19 has a wide range of symptoms, including fever, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, and a loss of taste or smell. In severe cases, it can lead to pneumonia, acute respiratory distress syndrome, organ failure, and death. The transmission of COVID-19 is primarily through respiratory droplets from infected individuals, which is similar to how enteroviruses spread. Again, and I must emphasize, the SEERS virus is not a genuine threat because it is not a real disease.
Not yet, and they're gonna, of course, say that buzzword that they like to say when it comes to us.
Or is it? Conspiracy theorists have speculated that the disease will appear in the year 2025 due to a series of video simulations that were released by the World Health Organization. This was referred to as the catastrophic contagion, where they discussed how to best respond to an event such as a SEERS outbreak. Either way, understanding the actual enteroviruses and comparing them with other respiratory viruses like COVID-19 can provide valuable insights into the challenges public health officials face in managing and preventing respiratory illnesses. But to give a quick recap, while SEERS is a fictional disease, examining its potential implications serves as a valuable exercise in understanding the challenges and complexities of managing emerging infectious diseases, which explains the exercise and simulation involving Bill Gates and the World Health Organization. By learning from past experiences and investing in proactive measures, we can better prepare for and respond to future threats, ensuring the health and safety of our global community. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And there should be some other helpful videos popping up on your screen right about now that I think you will enjoy. And just a quick reminder, we are not doctors. This video is for informational purposes only. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. And as always, breathe easy, my friend.
Someone said it does not exist. Just stop there. Like, bitch. But let me read up on it, dude. where it comes from, you know, where they saying it's gonna come from. And it doesn't have to be called Sears, you know. Looking for that South America part, because I know brothers brought it out. Oh. Didn't tell me a damn thing, bro. Let me get to that. Fucking shit, bro.
Officials in 2 Latin American countries alerted the WHO of several outbreaks of a new infectious disease that's mysteriously appearing across the region. Severe epidemic enterovirus respiratory syndrome 2025. Over the past 6 weeks alone, there have been 500 confirmed or suspected cases reported. The virus could cause a severe pandemic if early containment and mitigation efforts are not successful.
As of today, there have been an estimated 1 billion cases worldwide, with more than 20 million deaths, including nearly 15 million children. Countless millions are alive, but left with paralysis or brain damage.
This one. I'm trying to find it, it's in Italian, by the way. John Hopkins is a Benedict, of course.
Officials in 2 Latin American countries alerted the WHO of several outbreaks of a new infectious disease that's mysteriously appearing across the region. Severe epidemic enterovirus respiratory syndrome 2025. Over the past 6 weeks.
Why Latin American countries specifically? Where that looks like Venezuela and close by to it, and South America. That is so convenient.
Weeks alone, there have been 500 confirmed or suspected cases reported. The virus could cause a severe pandemic if
transcript is also in English.
Early
fuck,
containment and mitigation efforts are not successful.
The pandemic in this type of situation and trend would be a risk for the global health security.
I guess the part that's like in Italian is labeled as foreign. But yeah. You get the point, man. You still get the point. So, it ain't far-fetched to say that, it ain't far-fetched to say that what you call it, that, you know, just like the first demic happens under Trump, that the second will also happen under Trump. It may start before Trump gets in. That way he can build a case. You know, there's also this demic. There's this theme going around, you know. You know, modeled after, of course, the Sears, you know. And people was just dropping dead, and the migrants brought it in. You know, that's where the migrants is coming from. When you look at that map that they showed, the origin, the country of origin. That's what the migrants is, where the migrants is coming from. They're gonna say that the migrants brought it, man. Specifically the Venezuelan migrants. Bruh, this all, you put the pieces together, man. If you look at just one or two puzzle pieces, shit doesn't make sense. But when you put it together, that's when it starts to make sense. The more puzzle pieces you put together, the more it makes sense until you get the big picture. But for real though, that's how it is. Catastrophic Contagion, what it's called, Sears 2025. And that is actually what that is, predictive programming, man. And so you couldn't expect something like that to be released around that time, 2025, you know? And that could also be used to push for what? A form of digital verification that you got the jump shot. Dude! That you got the jump shot. And this is, it's gonna get our attention as well. Let me get that clip. Bill Gates, next one will get their attention.
Be the last pandemic that we face. You know, pandemics can come from natural causes, which is largely coming across from other species. You know, a flu, for example, is still a very big risk. And so we'll have to invest in making sure that we catch the disease sooner and that we have platforms to make diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines very quickly. Very little was invested, even though there were these calls by a lot of people, including our foundation. One group that was funded, the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, CEPI, C-E-P-I, we welcomed across Norway, UK, Japan were the initial funders, and that is helping out here. So we're better off than if that hadn't happened. But, you know, people trust government to think through these eventual bad things. This was a failure to get ready, and the cost would have been tiny compared to, say, what we spend on being ready for war. We didn't actually do the simulation to think about
simulation, like war games, but germ games. All that shit is also preparing for what they're gonna actually do when the shit goes live.
Okay, what about nursing homes? What about
when they make it go live?
Getting factories ready? What about the testing regime? You know, in fact, the testing could have been ramped up very quickly, and a few countries that have almost avoided the epidemic entirely, like Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia, you know, they took their experience and actually prepared, and so they moved a lot faster. So we, you know, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, you know, I'd say is will get attention this time.
Oh, yep, he said it. Yup. He said it. And so, I wouldn't be surprised, if, Bill hates Jake, aka Kill Gates of Hell. He got something else up his sleeve for 2025, And the ultimate blame will be placed on the migrants, man. And that's also Revelation chapter 6. Yeah. Verse 7 and 8. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." Verse 8, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Son. And that lines up with Jeremiah chapter 15, man. For sure, man. It also lines up with the scripture in 2nd Esdras. So that no, 2nd Esdras does not go off and it was not made up. That's a lie. And it lines up with Matthew chapter 24, 7 and 8. Let me get, that's just these devils playing it off, trying to, get you to think that it ain't real, because it exposes them. That's why. But let me get 2nd Esdras 16 and 17. All the way down, probably to 20. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? The powers, that's just motherfuckers that's these different, powerful kingdoms and shit, man. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor will be always mindful of the scourges. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that them lockdowns being brought back like that is going to certainly cause that. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And then it goes into how much people is going to die, bro. It goes into the details, man. That's why they don't like it as well, man. Basically, of a city, verse 28 goes in. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of rocks. So it's going to be like I Am Legend out here, man. It's going to end up being like that. At the height of the chaos, man. It's going to be like that. Verse 33, it's going to be wars out here in the streets, civil unrest. The virgins, and then later on that World War III, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, which is escalating, this World War III. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Yep. We're going to have to be and even it goes in, man. All this is fire, man. All this is fire. And then you go all the way down, and it talks about Esau coming down with great wrath. Ultimately upon us, these 2/3 are just in the way, man. Second Ezra's, and these lower level Edomites, man, and heathens. Nobody heathens that are here, man. They're in the way, man. They're just collateral. Second Ezra 16, they're in the way, so they're gonna get it first, basically. Second Ezra 16 and 67. Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. Verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a multitude. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to keep reading. Verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Verse 69, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach, and trodden underfoot. Verse 70, for there shall be Slakia. Verse 70, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Ultimately, that's the elect. But who's in the way? 2/3. Who's in the way? These average Edomites. Who's in the way? These nobody heathens that's here in Babylon. But they also gonna come on down on you Jakes in other parts of the world, such as Europe and shit. But it's mainly gonna happen here in Babylon. But the whole world is gonna experience the hour of temptation. But Babylon is gonna get it the worst. The fourth part of the earth. It's located where? North America. Babylon is gonna get it the worst. Verse says Babylon is located what? In the sides of the north. North America. Verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Verse 73. And they shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Verse 74, hear, O ye my beloved, saith Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Verse 75, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High Power Yahweh is your guide. Verse 76, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Let not your sins weigh you down, let your iniquities lift up themselves. Basically, if you went off and repented, you need to have faith, basically. But, anyways, hey, it's about to begin, man. Whether Trump or Kamala gets up in there, it's gonna happen. It's just the way that it's gonna happen would be different if it was Kamala. But it's still gonna happen. But, I believe that, it's going to be Trump. And other brothers do as well for certain reasons. But we don't say that it's 100% going to be Trump. Of course not. But, it's most likely, probably, I would say, going to be him. Because think about it, Trump, we're not telling anybody to vote no type of way because that don't make no difference. If they chose Trump, they chose Trump. If they chose Kamala, they chose Kamala. But if you think about it, Trump, he's being pushed as the hero of the people. But he was also the biggest salesman for the jump shot, Operation Warp Speed. Come on now. He was also, and yeah, it was optional then, of course. But, he still pushed it. You know? All the shit he's talking about, that's New World Order shit, man. It's just twisted to make it sound, you know, badass and quote-unquote based, man. And taking a stand for America. You know, but... hey, you know, don't trust that. Because nobody's going to heal this place. You got to keep that in mind as well. Nobody's going to heal Babylon. Nobody. Dude, nobody's going to heal this place. It's like doomed. Literally is doomed. Jeremiah 51, 8 and 9. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. And also something else when y'all should keep in mind, man. You know, the moves that Trump is going to make against the migrants is actually, he's saying they all the enemy, man. And they're bringing in diseases as well. He's been saying that. Is going to activate also the real motherfuckers. The actual people that came in. The actual Trojan horse motherfuckers that are agents from these foreign countries. That are willing to get their payback. Their get back, you know. Which is Jeremiah 51 and 14. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely, but that will happen with Kamala as well, just a different reason. But anyways, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Also with that, even with that engineering color revolution shit, they're still lifting up a shout against this place. It's still prophecy being fulfilled. But yeah. But anyways, yeah. You know, so with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Well, Salakia, my bad. You're not supposed to say that if you're an affiliate. You know, just shalom to the rest of the... Shalom to Yakim out there spreading this truth like wildfire, and citations as well. And shalom to the rest of the... You know, to the elect out there, man. The hopeful elect out there. You know? But yeah, you know. Which, the reason why Apostle Tahar did that is because you fucking agents, demons, and bug outs, man. But, yeah. You know, hope this video was edifying. Shalom, stay strong. We almost out of here. Just endure to the end, and if you're the elect, you will do that. Shalom.